I'm Nicholas Penrake, and you're listening to A Trader's Life, the podcast where I get to talk to successful traders about their approach to trading, how they started out and went from broke or breaking even to pulling in thousands of dollars a week. Trading is a tough game. They say only around 5% of those who try actually make a profit. Join me for A Trader's Life to glean some valuable insights from the market wizards I get to talk to. Right at the fag end of the year 2020, I was lucky enough to have my second female trader on the show. Farzana Zaman is still at university, studying pharmacy. She has a passion for science and an equal passion for trading, which she got into in her teens. Besides studying and trading, and working at a pharmacy a few nights a week, she also runs HerTrade, an education and support group for women traders. How refreshing, I thought, to run into a female trader with such an entrepreneurial outlook. Here's our conversation. Hey Farzana, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. So we're recording just before Christmas, the last few days of this year. More chaos in the UK. Not only are Christmas plans spoilt for everyone, we've also got a sort of blockade, haven't we, at Dover and Calais.
Yeah, I hope you didn't make any plans. I kind of saw this coming. I mean, I feel like Boris. I don't know why he always makes last minute decisions. You know.
Yeah, it's flip flop with him on everything, isn't it? Yeah, completely.
It's kind of hard to take him serious at this point.
Yeah, I just hadn't anticipated the double whammy of trucks in a long line around Dover, and the worry of food and all the rest of it coming in and out of the country. That's not great.
Yeah.
Stories of panic buying, etc.
I mean, it happened last time. So.
Yeah. Anyway, we should get to business in hand, as they say. So you're a trader, not full time yet, as I understand, in the sense of relying entirely on trading for your income. How did you get into trading?
So, in terms of being full time, I guess my income is full time, but my job is not full time. If you know what I mean. So how I got into it, I had a friend when I was about 16 who he was into trading. It was really popular at the time. It was all over social media, Instagram. It was kind of like the come up of Forex. And so I was a bit wary of it. I was a bit more, traditional focused. I was like, I want to get a job, I want to make more money that way. But then this friend came along and he seemed to be doing well. He was actually under someone's mentorship. And so he kind of told me about it and it kind of piqued my interest. So I spoke to him, and then he went on to work at a financial company, and he was day trading there for the company. And so I thought, okay, I'm only 16. I can't quit my job. I can't take this full time. And I think I made a good decision at that point, which a lot of people didn't, which was to practice trading on a demo account. I guess I didn't have any choice because I was 16. It was technically not allowed for me to trade with real money. So I started out with a demo account. I scoured the internet, as probably most people do nowadays, to find out, what is trading? What is this get rich quick thing? And I quickly came to realize that's exactly not what it is.
Yeah.
And I'd heard all these stories, as I was introduced to it, about how people were getting scammed on Instagram. So I kind of had an awareness early on of what to look out for. So I guess the first thing I did was to look for a course or a mentor to say, and I managed to find one. He's quite a successful trader now. So I was working with him for a little while, and then we kind of went our separate ways, and it was kind of on to the next course. What more can I find out? And it was really helpful. Whilst I was in sixth form, it was kind of like a side thing that I did when I got home.
How did you find the mentor who was helping you at the beginning?
So he was more inspiring than anything because he was very young. He was about 21 at the time. So it was really inspiring to see someone young that could, achieve such good things. And more than the mentorship, it was the inspiration that was.
Sure. Is this the same guy who introduced you to trading in the first place and then went on to work?
No, it wasn't. It was
somebody else. And was that just like a friend at school, part of your social network, or did you have to sort of approach him, almost cold?
It was kind of a friend of a friend. Yeah, he was on Instagram, contacted him on Instagram, and happened to be that he had an office nearby. So I actually ended up working for the company. Um, and yeah, I kind of saw things from a business perspective of someone, he's teaching Forex and doing these kind of things. And it was kind of two sides of the coin, where it was someone who's being someone who's learning, and then seeing someone who's, got it all to say.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a nice person to look up to at the time.
Yeah. And so you started with Forex, right?
Yeah, I started with Forex.
Yeah.
It was at the time where binary trading had just gone out the window, and Forex was starting to become a big thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And did you pick certain pairs that you worked at repeatedly, or would you try anything, according to opportunities on a chart?
To be honest, in the beginning, I didn't have a clue what I should have been doing. Like, I didn't know that,
Right.
there was a few pairs that you should focus on. The main thing for me was just, looking at these charts and thinking, oh, that's crazy. Like, they're going up and down. What does this mean? I was kind of just trying my luck in the beginning. And then I think we all get to a point where it's like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing. I need to, find some logical steps to go through.
Yeah. So what did you learn from this mentor? What were the sort of key points that you could draw from that early teaching? Yeah.
Yeah. So the earliest thing I learned was to focus on price action, and avoid the use of indicators. And to this day, I think that it's the most important thing I've learned. Like, keeping your charts clean, and knowing that all you need to be able to make money is just what you see on the chart. You don't need to add anything to it. You just need to look at those candlesticks, and it tells you more than any indicator would be able to tell you. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people get into this trap of thinking the more indicators I have, the better I'm going to be at trading. But if you have that core skill, you don't really need anything else to help you out. It's all there in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah. What sort of time frames were you looking at? Were you sort of working the big trends, or scalping, or something in between?
So in the beginning, I was more of a scalper. I was looking for the short term trades. But as I went on, I kind of learned that having patience and mindset is a big thing. And as my time commitments decreased, I had to move up to the higher time frames, like 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour daily. Because at that point I'd started university, and I didn't have time to be on the charts all day long. So then I found a routine to suit my lifestyle, which was to check the daily charts just twice a day, morning 10 a.m. and then in the evening at 10 p.m. And I feel like that's feasible for everyone. You can have 10 minutes to spare. So right now I'm focusing on higher time frames. I feel like they're a lot more reliable as well.
Yeah. And how much money did you allot for trading when you first started out?
So when I first started, I started with 250, which is, I think, was the minimum for a lot of brokers.
Yeah.
I remember that feeling of turning 18, and I was like, I need a job now. Like, I desperately wanted a job because I wanted to start trading live. So I got my first job, saved up, and then I deposited that 250. And as we all do probably in the beginning, I completely blew it.
Yeah. In how many weeks or days?
I would honestly say probably about a week.
Yeah.
And
well, it's only 250, isn't it? It's easily done.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there's such a gap really between demo and live, isn't there? And of course, that's where the emotions come into it.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say this, that, with a demo account, you don't experience the real emotions.
Yeah.
But I feel like if someone had told me, I didn't know anything about the mindset. I was just focused on the charts. I realized there's two aspects to this. There's mindset, and there's the technical side of it. And, I did learn a lot from losing that 250,
Yeah.
It's the feeling of, revenge trading and all that comes into play.
So did you take a bit of a break after that and sort of lick your wounds before putting more money in?
I did. I mean, I think at that point I was heading towards second year of university. It was very tough.
Yeah.
I went through a lot that year personally as well. And I feel like at the end of it, that was my like light bulb moment. You know, all that year, you know, going through the personal things, it was kind of like, and the losing the money, it was kind of like a personal transformation. You
Yeah.
know, you need to completely switch your mindset. This is not, you know, guess what pair to buy and sell randomly. Like you have to be calculated in the things that you do and control your mindset. You can't be getting emotional over these things. And I think, yeah, when I was about 19, 20, that was a turning point where my trading really, you know, it really changed.
When you went back to it, did you start or resume rather with smaller trade sizes, that kind of thing? Was it you just thought, well, I'll take this bit more slowly, smaller trade sizes, maybe larger stops, if given that you were trading 4 hours and daily charts?
Yeah.
What helped you apart from? I mean, mindset is a somewhat vague term, isn't it? In many ways, it'd be nice if we could define that a little bit in terms of what you what you felt was the change in the way you went about things.
So it wasn't, you know, smaller lot sizes. I was always using small lot sizes, but it was risk management that came into play. So every trade that you take will have a different size stop loss and a
Yeah,
different profit target. And depending on that, I decided to risk only 5% per trade. And so if your stop loss is 5 pips, you can have a larger lot size. If your stop loss is 70 pips, you're going to have a smaller lot size. So it's just keeping the lot size consistent based on the amount I wanted to risk. And
yeah,
risk, as soon as you have risk management, you're protected. You know, the whole point of risk management is to keep you in the game. If in the beginning I was only risking 5% per trade, like I wouldn't have lost that 250 in a week, you know? And it's having the discipline to say to yourself, okay, once you've made this much pips or money or whatever it is, you tell yourself that's it, no more for the day or no more for the week. And it's also having the discipline to stop when you've lost a certain amount and, you know, not getting emotional and saying, oh, I need to make that back.
yeah, yeah. It is very tempting, isn't it? You just it's
Mhm.
the old revenge trade, as they call it. You know, you lose, and then you think, oh, yeah, but I can see a good opportunity here. It might even be on the same chart, and you go back in and make a complete hash of it
Yeah.
because you're sort of reacting. Really, you're not. It's that old Chinese proverb. Uh, what is it? Measure 7 times, cut once. You know, you really do
Oh, I
want to
love
take the
that.
time.
Yeah.
And if you're reacting, of course, you're not measuring 7 times. You're measuring maybe 2 or 3 times, as it were. And that's the problem usually.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
yeah,
guess you have to learn to lose, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So did you go back in with 250, a fresh 250, or did you push it up a bit?
So at that point, I didn't go back in with real money. I was demo trading. And I
Yep,
told myself until I'm consistent for at least 3 months, consistently profitable on the demo account, 3 months, I'm not going live.
yeah, sensible.
Um, yeah, and I realized there's no need to, you know, lose money on a real account until you know you have the skill and you know you have the mindset. And by mindset, I mean having discipline, patience,
Yeah,
like self control, like training your mindset for forex will teach you more about yourself than you'll ever know. It's like
yeah.
it's
No,
Loki
it's very true,
therapy.
isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite a sort of crash course in getting to know yourself.
exactly.
You thought you knew yourself, but you do when you start trading. It's quite eye opening, really.
Yeah, and you really have to humble yourself. Like you can't be overconfident. You know,
Yeah,
you never know the outcome in forex. The fact is, it's uncertain, and if you can't come to terms with that, you know, you're not made for forex. You have to be uncomfortable with the
yeah,
uncertainty of things.
yeah. You have to learn to become what is it? Comfortable being uncomfortable, so to
Yeah.
speak. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And so when you did resume with real money, the live account, how did that go the first few weeks?
It was I took like a doctor water. You know, it was
Mm,
I really felt no difference between my demo account and my real account because I treated that demo account like it was my own hard-earned money, every penny, you know. And once you that's the whole point of having a demo account, I guess, is to have that seamless transition. And you know, I was very profitable because of my risk management. You know, I was never in drawdown. Um, like overall since the beginning. Obviously, I took losses, but it was just a matter of journaling those losses and then reflecting on them. And sometimes it's not your fault. The market is the market. You could have had a perfect setup, but it could have still gone on to be a loss because you never know the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, things can come at you sideways, can't they? You just got no time to react.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at the British pound recently,
Yeah, exactly.
It's up and down, up and down. Yeah, we can't, like today, just falling again.
Yeah, it's
Seems to be in a
crazy.
channel and then it topples almost out of it, really.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll probably pick up, but you don't really know, especially with the uncertainty of the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So you got going with Forex, and did you then start to explore other instruments like stocks or futures?
I got into stocks about maybe maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I kept seeing those adverts for Trading 212 on YouTube,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was like, why not download it? Have a go with stocks. And I feel like stocks are a lot more safe than forex. They're less volatile. So because I kind of had the knowledge of how to trade forex, I kind of implemented my same strategy on the stock market.
Yeah.
Um, and during the pandemic, it was a great moment to get in. Like I'm sure you saw how US oil dropped. It went to like
Oh, yeah.
-4 or something. I'd never seen
Yeah.
that in my life.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. And it was at that point where I bought a crap ton of oil, and I'm still holding it, and it's still in profit. So the pandemic,
Great.
surprisingly, it was a great time to get into the stock market.
Yeah. You do wonder with oil how well the price will hold with all the talk of electric vehicles.
Mm,
Um, of course, demand will start to go up once the vaccines roll out.
yeah,
But yeah, you do wonder what the price will look like a year from now on account of the competition from EV.
yeah.
But interesting times. Yeah. With stocks, what price range do you tend to look at?
So I started small, which I thought was a sensible thing to do. So I put £500 in there. And the good thing about trading 212 is, you can buy fractions of shares. Um, so that was quite helpful. So I just split my money up, and mainly in pharmaceutical companies because that's my background. And with the vaccine rollout, the two companies, Pfizer and Moderna in America,
Yeah.
great opportunity. They had the vaccine, they rolled it out. You should have seen how the stock prices rocketed. Um, but yeah, even whatever your industry is, whether it's finance or if you're a chef, like you can invest in those companies that you know about in whatever your background is. So for me, it was pharmaceuticals. Like as long as you have a general understanding of what's fundamentally going on with these companies, I'm sure anyone can get into stocks.
Yeah. The tricky thing with bio stocks, I've found anyway, is that, you can be backing one of them and then they're suddenly hit by the news that another company has beat them to it.
Mm,
And suddenly their share price plummets. Have you
yeah,
encountered that sort of problem?
yeah, no, I have, especially like before the pandemic, like you could see a stock tank just because a patient has filed a lawsuit against them claiming their drugs have given them cancer. So it is unexpected things like that. So I guess you could combat that by holding them for a short period of time. You know,
Yeah.
Once you see an event coming and you think the price will increase, you buy it, you take your profits and you sell it.
Do you typically go in for those big moves or, the momentum kind of push, or will you hold it for even weeks at a time?
So it depends what the company is. I guess with pharmaceutical companies, it's more a case of get in, get out. Whereas with companies like Amazon, where over the pandemic, people are ordering online.
Yeah, it kept
So
going up and up and
yeah,
up. Yeah.
in that case, I would hold it. It just depends on the company, I guess.
Yeah. And so you're hoping to split your time, or you do currently split your time perhaps between working as a pharmacist and trading. Is that right?
So I'm in the fourth year of my pharmacy degree, which is the final year. I'm almost a
Okay.
pharmacist.
Yeah.
Um, so the workload at uni is immense. Like this is my master's year, so I'm doing a dissertation. So there's that, but I feel like my passion is trading, so it's kind of a motivation to get the work done and out of the way, and then I
Yeah.
can focus on the trading because I also have a business where I teach women how to trade, which is I guess
Okay.
how you found the page HerTrade on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a real struggle dividing the time between uni and personal trading and the business and
Yeah.
other
Sounds like
things.
it.
Yeah, personal life. It's quite hard.
There aren't so many women traders, are there? I mean, you're
Yeah,
I think the second on my show, and the
yeah.
first British woman. So,
Wow,
yeah,
I'm
not many
honoured.
of them
Honestly,
around.
I'm honoured.
Well, no, but I mean, it's great. I wish there were more. So you actually look out for, or you put yourself out there as training women traders. Is that right?
Yeah, so the platform is called HerTrade because when I was trading solo, I had quite a moderate sized platform on Instagram, and I'd get messages from girls all the time, saying, "Can you teach me? Do you mentor?" And at the time, I was just a solo trader, and then someone came to me and said, "Why haven't you started your own business? Like you could help so many girls." And at that time, I was
Yeah,
like, "This is my passion. Like that is a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of it." So I kind of went into it, and the whole point behind it is, you know, women lead, I guess, a different lifestyle to men. They have different time commitments, and we go about things differently. And I've seen difference in mindsets between female traders and male traders.
oh yeah, you're more risk averse generally, aren't you,
Yeah,
compared to
exactly.
men? You know,
I
we're
think I think so.
stupid. We just go gung ho at everything. Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
I think women are stronger on the mindset side. They are a bit more risk averse, as you said.
yeah,
And no offense, but I think that's what make women good traders because they have the mindset, and
yeah. Well, more patience, more caution.
patience. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
observation.
Yeah,
Men are more impulsive. Yeah, so we have some good runs, but the trouble is that with that impulsiveness can lead you into trouble. So
yeah,
it's sort of it's slow and steady, as they say, isn't it? The trading game.
yeah,
It's sort of
exactly.
yeah. How long have you been teaching then? To about a year, is it?
So it's been about 6 months. I used to do a copy trading service where people can just copy my trades through
Yeah,
a broker.
yeah,
So there was that because I didn't have the time, to put a course together, mentor people. But as I had my summer holidays, I put the course together. I put my heart and soul into that, and I've had so much good feedback on it. And it's just
yeah.
it's just
Good.
so fun,
Yeah,
having those one-to-one calls with girls and going through the charts with them, and it's that feeling when you see them click with what to do. It's just so satisfying. 'Cause, even winning a trade, making 5 grand doesn't compare to that. It's a great feeling seeing
yeah,
other
yeah.
girls, get into it, especially in such a male-dominated industry.
No, sure. Yeah. How many do you have in your group at any one time? So it's like a Zoom call with three or four, is it,
Yeah.
on the call?
So I try to limit it to about 15 students every 3 months because I need to give each one the time and attention that they need. So if there's too many people, I can't do that. So I have like a waiting list where people can sign up, and then
Yeah.
yeah. So we have a group chat, we have a forum, and then we have live Q and A's, and also we have one-to-one sessions if anyone requires that. But yeah, I try to keep it very intimate. I don't want it to feel like I'm your mentor. I want it to feel like we're friends, and you can
Yeah.
come to me with a question, and I'll just help you out. Um, so yeah,
So do you kind of market this course? You got your own web page for this, and you charge a fee, or it's a monthly fee, a subscription? What's your sort of model for this?
so I try to keep it really simple, which is to market through my own Instagram page. Um, I had a decent following, and then my Instagram got deleted, so I'm having to start again now, which is
Oh
kind of
gosh,
annoying. Yeah,
were you hacked or something?
I don't know. Instagram just I don't know. I feel like they just said it's been disabled for violating terms, but I've had a lot of other
Yeah.
friends who've said the same thing, and
Oh right.
they haven't done anything. So I was on about 7,000 before. Now I'm starting again from
Oh my God.
700.
Yeah. I had
So
something the same on the Facebook. I got hacked and
really,
couldn't get the account back.
yeah, and
They provide this ridiculous password thing where you try to change your password, reset your password. That was the word I was looking for. You try to reset your password, but the email that pops up is the hacker's email. So how the hell can you reset your password?
I know it's like a dead
Ah,
end with Facebook and
it
Instagram
is. Yeah.
sometimes.
Anyway, I digress. You were saying.
Yeah, so my main platform is Instagram. I just market through there. It's very organic. You know, I don't really push it. I just kind of show what I'm doing, and then the girls, you know, if they want to ask me, they can. And I guess it just goes through there. So the business model is the course is technically free, where you know you just deposit 250 into our partner broker, and then you get access to the course. And that you know from brokers you can withdraw whenever.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. Um, and then,
Regulated broker, I guess.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then yeah, if they want the tutelage, it's just a monthly fee, and I do sales all the time, so
Yeah.
it's really affordable. I've tried to make it really affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
So you know you don't have to break up the bank or get a loan. You know, it's really easy for everyone.
Yeah, unlike so many courses. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you say tutelage, does that consist of the calls on Zoom or whatever it might be, where you have a bit more of a class kind of structure
yeah.
rather than just signals and that kind of thing?
So the tutelage is the one-to-one calls, and we do weekly Q&A sessions, and that lasts for an hour every Tuesday. And then there's also unlimited email support. But yeah, even if you don't get the tutelage, you know, you get email support once a week. You're added to the members forum where, you know, it's a group of all the girls part of the course and we will help each other out. And it's just nice having people around you who are doing the same thing. You know, it makes you feel supported. And the main thing new traders need is support.
Yeah, no, it's so true, isn't it? I mean, I think one of the guys who came on early, I think it was like Alex Boston, he said he very rarely, if ever, talks about trading to anyone because it's
Mm.
unless you are a trader, the typical reaction is it's gambling,
Yeah.
or it's just too risky. They don't really get it. It just sort of smacks of greed, of course. You know, it's not very attractive to people who aren't just genuinely curious or even
Mhm.
as you are passionate.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is good to have one or two people you can actually talk about it with, because otherwise you end up boring people for
Yeah.
one thing. And for you, I'm sure you've found it very valuable having other women to talk about
Yeah.
this with, you know, because women do approach it slightly differently.
Yeah, all my friends who are traders, they're all guys. I didn't know any female. I don't know any female traders other than the ones who are, you know, in my group and learning.
Yeah, well,
So
you're doing a good job changing all that.
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's important, you know, because there is a lot of it is just the way it's become, you know, and the way just people accept that's it. And I guess a lot of women think, oh, that's not for me, and
Mhm.
a lot of it's just because they're not encouraged in the first place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it needs to change.
Your routine at the moment is still uni, and then you put the trading hours in, like, or half an hour or whatever it might be, early in the morning, and then sort of evening, and then you somehow squeeze in your training as well. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I also work in a pharmacy in the evening, so I do like
Okay.
generally 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So yeah, my routine is kind of wake up early. I love to have an empty morning. Like I love to spend time having my breakfast, like you know, meditation, just relaxing, sitting in the garden. Um, I like to have a good few hours of that because it really sets the tone for the day, especially if you're trading. You know,
Yeah.
being at home all day, you
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to have you need to have a clear mind. Um, and then I check my charts. 10 a.m. takes me probably about 15 minutes, and then I do my uni work. Check again at 2 p.m. and then do my uni work, focus on the course, and then again at 10 p.m. Um, so it's generally only on the days that I work. I don't check in the evening, which is 2 days a week. But that's fine, you know. I don't trade every day. I probably take maybe 2 or 3 trades per week.
Do you have sort of days that you generally don't like? I mean, quite a few traders I know don't like Mondays because of it's all very often a bit finding its way, isn't it? Finding its tone for the week, so it can be rather choppy. And then they'll say Friday the momentum's a bit gone.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not true every week, but that's what a lot of people say. Mondays and Fridays avoid if they're going to avoid any days. Do you have that sort of approach as well?
I don't really have preference. I look at the market, and if it doesn't give me what I want, I don't take trades. I'm not fussy. Like if I don't see what I want, I'm not going to take the trade.
Yeah. So you give yourself the 15-20 minutes to find something, and if it's not screaming out at you, you back off and just say, okay, I'll just leave it for today. Is that it?
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
like that?
Yeah. So I check three times per day. If I don't see what I want, I don't take the trade. And you have to be very selective. Like it has to meet all my criteria. I have a checklist on my table beside my computer.
Okay. What does that comprise of, the checklist? Can you remember?
Yeah, I can remember that off the back of my head.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a mini version of my trading plan. So, it's looking at the time frame. It's looking at whether there's a trend. It's looking at what price action I'm seeing. Is there a certain candlestick pattern I'm seeing? It's considering what trading session you're in, things like that.
Yeah.
And then once I've met all those criteria, I have another section, which is, okay, you've got a trade that I want. Now what's the next step? So the next step would be to figure out your lot size, risk management. What's your plan? What point are you going to enter? When are you going to exit? When are you going to move your stop loss? Are you going to move your stop loss? I have everything planned out, so I don't need to make any decisions. Once I'm in that trade, you make all the decisions beforehand. And
then you let it ride out.
Exactly. You make a plan and then you trade the plan. And that really helps take the emotions out of trading, because when money is on the line, we don't make good decisions, so you need to have it laid out beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever go back in and, or rather, do you ever take a look at your charts and think, no, I need to change that? Or do you just say, no, I'm sticking to the rules and that's it, even if I burn and crash? Crash and burn.
Never. Because I remember, that in the demo account, that's when I lost it. I remember I got into that trade for a reason, and you have to have the patience. You can't be flustered whilst you're in the trade. You can't hesitate,
Yeah, because so often we do the analysis, we're quite convinced by it seems to be pretty sound, and it perhaps starts off well, and then suddenly something turns and you go back to your chart and you actually wonder if you're even looking at the same thing and whether you actually did make an analysis that was sound, and you doubt seeps in very, very quickly, like a sinking ship, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess you have the discipline now to stick with the plan and just ride it out. I mean, I suppose if you've got a stop loss, for example, that is sensible, then you can afford to make a loss if that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, I guess it comes back to mindset again. You can't let your emotions get in the way, unless it's in your plan where you have a contingency plan where you've anticipated that something will happen, in which case you will exit the trade. Unless that's there, I won't touch it. I don't even look at it until the designated chart time. And it's so important, because as humans, we're not primed to be good at trading. We shiver at the sight of uncertainty and losing money, and we all want routine. We can't handle uncertainty, so you need to
certainly not too much of it. We can handle in sort of short spells, can't we? But to be continually in a sort of fight or flight mode is really unhealthy.
Exactly. Especially if my trading style, I'm in trades for potentially days. To have that, you can't have that feeling of uncertainty. You need to know how to deal with that. And my way is having those rules set out and not looking at the trade. It does take a lot of discipline, mindset, and patience, which is what the demo account is for.
Yeah, and when you're in a losing streak, if you are, it's perhaps 2 or 3 days where your stop loss keeps getting hit. What do you do to sort of, take a break from it, or get over any kind of doubts that might be piling up?
Yeah, so I've had losing streaks. We all have losing streaks,
Yeah.
But I guess that's what my risk management is for. If I've lost a certain percentage in that week, I stop trading. And then I start again the next week. And I journal all my trades, I record everything, And at the last Sunday of each month, I review the past trades. Last month. And that's the most valuable when you have a losing streak. Your losses are your lessons. And it's being able to reflect on that. That's why I say, what you don't track won't grow. If you don't track your trades, you don't spot your errors, you don't spot your mistakes. It's all reflecting.
So what will you do? I mean, you'll make perhaps a handwritten journal, will you? And then save screenshots, or how do you backtest and journal?
What I do is it's an Excel spreadsheet. I have the trade name, the trade number, the date, all the numbers, the entry price, exit price, stop loss, the amount of pips, how much I've risked, the percentage I've risked. And I don't know about you, but I use TradingView, which lets you, take a screenshot of your trades.
Yeah.
And I put a before and after. So it's all laid out there. I put my thoughts down at the time I was taking the trades, how I feel during the trade, if anything has happened during the day. It's writing down all the little things to, on that last Sunday of the month, you might realize, okay, I had a bad day that day. I had a loss. I had a bad day the next day. I had a loss. You start to see patterns.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you might not even see a problem. It might just be a case of, okay, the market went against you. It happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's knowing when to stop and how to assess those losses.
Do you think you'll expand your training, with the training you offer to these women after you finish uni? I mean, do you think you'll expand it? Obviously, your final year, you don't really want to be taking on any more, do you? But do you have plans to roll out something a bit larger, or maybe join up with another trader to make it a bigger operation?
It has been on my mind, because even when I finish uni, I go straight into training, which will be at a hospital. So I don't know what my time will be like then, but I'm sure I'll find a way to make it work.
How do you manage the sort of the two? I mean, I imagine what you're doing at uni and, pharmacy and so on is a strong interest, if not a passion as well. How do you think you're going to almost like juggle the two as you go forward?
I get this question a lot, as in, how do I manage my time? But it's like when you have two passions, it just comes naturally. Like, you don't go to someone saying, how do you find time to eat meals? Like, it's a necessity for you. It's part of your day. You don't even have to think about it. And these two things are very important to me. Like, pharmacy gives me purpose because you're helping people, you're improving people's lives.
Yeah.
Trading gives me time freedom. I don't have to rely on work. It gives me that security. And these two things are so fundamental to me. Like, I feel bad when I don't have an answer to give. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, just last question, really. Where do you think the passion for trading came from? I mean, a lot of people will say, oh, well, you just want the money. But in my experience of talking with other traders, it is much less about the money than wanting to kind of, almost like the way a chess player will want to beat the opponent, or, work out the game, or a game plan or a strategy to win. It's the satisfaction of, it's a kind of almost like intellectual fascination to win. Albeit it's not a sport, there is an element of that. Is it something like that for you?
It's definitely not about the money. Growing up, I've always, when I was a kid, I used to act like I was a business lady. I'd put my business clothes on and I'd pretend to play like these office games. And I was always kind of entrepreneurial from when I was a child. Like, I had my first business at, I think, 13 or 14.
Okay.
And
what was that in?
so I used to paint canvases and sell them on eBay. I used to paint art, and
Yeah.
it was great until I didn't have enough time to do it anymore. And I guess it's that feeling of being able to be an independent woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big thing. Well, I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for talking to me.
No, thank you so much. It's been
Great.
really fun doing this.
Cool. And best of luck with your teaching.
Thank you. All right, take care.
I was talking just now to Farzana Zaman. If you're a female trader and want to reach out, you can find her at hertrade.co.uk. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear from you. Finally, if you're enjoying the show, please check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/penrakespodcasts. Thanks for being here.